Orleans accidentally tore down Marie Laveau house. I got a question. How the hell you accidentally tear down somebody's house? I'll wait. You don't. You accidentally on purpose tear down somebody's house. So thank God for the Smithsonian. We found out 3 years ago, thanks to the Smithsonian doing some digging, her house looked exactly like that one right there. See the yellow cottage with the green shutters? Take it and place it right here on this foundation. That's the original foundation down there that she had. And you'll have exactly what Marie Laveau's house looked like back then. For those of you who never heard her name before, you've definitely seen her image in the media. If you've seen that movie, The Pirates of the Caribbean, there's a character on there called Tia Dalma. Ask any Jamaican, they'll tell you flat out that was not a Jamaican accent. That's because that was a Creole accent. Wasn't Jamaican. And also she was modeled after a younger version of Marie Laveau. Disney's Princess and the Frog, Mama Odie, modeled after an older version of Marie Laveau. For those of us born and raised in the 80s and the 90s, y'all remember when Lisa Bonet was on the Cosby Show? And she disappeared a couple of seasons, everybody was like, where is she? Well, turns out she was filming her own series, A Different World, right? But she also filmed a movie called Angel Heart, where she was a voodoo queen in that movie. She was modeled after a younger version of Mademoiselle Marie Laveau. So even though you may not have heard her name, you definitely seen this woman image on the TV. So, who is she though? Because some people say she was evil, some people say she was a saint, some people say she was a devil incarnate, some people say she was God's right-hand woman, some people say she was a devil's mistress, some people say she was so evil, some people say she was a saint. What do we actually know about Mademoiselle Marie Laveau? Here's what we know. Nothing. Thank y'all so much for joining me. No, we know nothing. I'm going to tell y'all the reason why we don't know nothing. Because most of the stories y'all heard about this woman have been made up by people's families in order to make their families look good. Also, and I'm glad you're recording this, if someone comes up to you and tells you that they are a descendant of Marie Laveau, immediately ask them for their papers. All her descendants have paperwork showing that they are a descendant of her. Wow. If they ain't got the paperwork, they lying through their teeth. Plain and simple. That's just how it is. Yeah, go tell that the Bloody Mary over here and that own that fake voodoo shop right there with that skeleton in the window. Okay. That bitch moved down here from Maine and going around telling everybody that not only is she a descendant of Marie Laveau, that she's a reincarnation of Marie Laveau. Marie was black.
Isn't she mixed?
We have to talk about it. Yeah. Because I'm about to piss some more people off. No, you know you're accurate, right? You're on point. You just went. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. All right, let's talk about her lineage and let's talk about her. First of all, that birth certificate that's online, it's fake. How do we know? It's typed up in times of New Roman change. Y'all know that wasn't invented until the 1900s, right? This woman was alive between 1799 and then died in the late 1800s. So, yeah, that birth certificate, yeah, it's fake, y'all. They didn't have that font back then. She was born 3/4 white and 1/4 black. However, back then they believed if you had one drop of non-European, I didn't say African. I did not say African. I said non-European blood in your veins. You're 100% black. Wow. Don't y'all know what that means for every last one of us on this tour today if we were all placed back in the 18 and the 1700s? And for those of you on this tour going, well, not me, I'm European. And then a dude from Texas, girl, this dude from Texas, like, he looked at me, and I had to laugh at him. He went, not me, I'm white of America.
Oh my God.
Okay.
And you know there's gonna be a funny ending, right? I asked him, oh yeah, what's your lineage? Native American.
Oh my God.
I laughed so hard. And he asked me why I was laughing. I said, you know Native Americans are not white, right? He went, well, yeah, but they're native. And I was like, yeah, they're not white. He had to sit down and think about that. He had to think about all his life choices. And for those of you going, well, that still doesn't count me. I'm a mix of Irish and English. And well, I guess it does. Because back then, if you wanted to be considered white, you got to be English, French, or German, or Spanish. That's it. And be careful with Spain. Spain don't count no more. They kicked Spain out in the 1800s. Want to know why? The North Africans migrated up there and started having children. Now you got these dark-colored, complected people. See that dark piece of meat right there? That's how they look in Spain right now. And all the English and French are going. Nope. Nah. And they really kicked Spain out the pen. They really did it. They seriously did it. And let's say you're English. You got to be English for at least 32 generations.
Wow.
32. That means all your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your great-grandparents all must be English. Let's say you're English and you got a French grandparent inserted up in there. Guess what they called you? Blanc negro, which means white black, or passé blanc, which means pass for white.
Yeah.
I have just destroyed racism at a microscopic level. Thank you, Mom. None of you have any excuse to leave this tour and hate anyone because of their skin color ever again. After I just told you that bit of information. That is history. That's not even like...
Not your interpretation.
That's not even my interpretation. That is history. I'm sorry, y'all. Racism is a man-made construct used to control people. That's all it is. All right. Mademoiselle Marie Laveau, being 3/4 white, 1/4 black, obviously was a woman of color. It is not her first husband y'all need to know about. It's her second husband. Y'all, his name was Christophe Lapillon. This man was 100% French, and he loved him some Mademoiselle Marie Laveau. How do we know he loved Mademoiselle Marie Laveau? They had 14 kids.
Oh my God.
That's how we know he loved Mademoiselle Marie Laveau. 14, yep. And you know, legally they couldn't get married to each other because it was illegal for black and white people to get married to each other back then. But they were together for 30 years. Now, this rose Mademoiselle Marie Laveau's status because Christophe had a lot of money. This man was loaded. And with a higher status, she started doing what most black and Latina women started doing back then. She became a hairdresser. Why did she become a hairdresser? She had to. Most black and Latina women had to do hair in order to survive. They were illegal for them to go to the hospitals and the marketplaces. So they would get together and do each other's hair and then exchange goods with each other. Let's say she got a bunch of eggs, I got a bunch of strawberries. We'll make an exchange after we do each other's hair. Now our children can have a protein and a fruit. That's why you'll find a lot of black and Latina women doing hair in their homes for a living versus inside of a shop. It was a survival tactic from back then. Mademoiselle Marie Laveau took this a step further. She started doing the hair of all the slave owners' wives. Why them women? Think about it. When a group of Southern belles come together, ain't no men around, they getting their hair done, what they gonna start doing?
Talking.
They gonna start talking. Southern belles, they talked about their own secrets, their husband's secrets, and their family secrets. Y'all, they have arranged marriages to their first cousins. Why they married their first cousins? American history books will tell you they married their first cousins to keep the money in their families. Well, their personal diaries say they married their first cousins to stay pure white. These women would talk about their own secrets, their husband's secrets, and their family secrets. Bragging to each other, trying to be the baddest bitch among the affected right? Now realizing there's a whole black woman sitting there combing their hair. She can hear everything that she say. She listened to these ladies for over 15 years. That's a lot of dirt. You can build mountains with that dirt. Why do you think she was out there talking to you ladies after the voodoo rich ignoring us men? What better way to know what the slave owners are doing than to act the female house slaves themselves? Y'all see everything. So when she came up to you and said, girl,
Oh, you know you're about to get some tea.
spill the tea. And she gonna spill the tea because she don't want to be enslaved and she don't want the rest of her family to be enslaved. Now with this information that you ladies have given Mademoiselle Marie Laveau, Marie marched right up to our slave owner, looked the man in the eye and said, sell me your house slaves. Slave owner said no. He's trying to figure out who the hell is this random black woman that meant that I sell her my house slaves. I am a slave owner, I'm French, I'm Catholic, I have status. That's not what he said, y'all. What he actually said involved a bunch of N-words, and I'm tired of saying that word on the tour today, so I'm gonna let that fly, okay? Well, eventually he said no. So you know what Marie Laveau did?
Dig up the dirt.
Yes! She spilled every last one of his deepest and darkest secrets to him. She dug that shit up. It was some heavy bricks in that dirt. Now hang on. Back then, a man was not part of a woman's day-to-day affair. A man sent his wife to go get her hair and her nails done. So the slave owner has no idea that's his wife hairdresser of 15 years. So when she spilled all his secrets to him, what do you think he came up with instead? She's a witch. She was an evil black magic voodoo powers to read my mind. She's part of the evil black magic voodoo religion. Let me tell you what he wrote. He wrote in the last documentation, I sold her my house slaves out of fear of her touching me and cursing my entire family.
Wow.
That is written in the courthouse right now.
Wow.
From the 1800s. And out of his own fear, he sold us to her. Now enlisted as belonging to Christophe Lapillon on the slave registry. This gets better. This man that took us behind down here to the corner of St. Anne and Charter Street, and he's telling all the other slave owners at the auction to be careful of the black woman that lives at 1022 St. Anne. She's the queen of all the voodoo. How do I know? She used the evil black magic to read my mind and know my deepest and darkest secrets.
Oh my
Be
gosh.
careful. And what happens? They believe him. Who they gonna tell? Their wives. Who the wives gonna tell? Each other. Who each other gonna tell? The children. Who the children gonna tell? Everybody. Now the rumors are spreading all across the French Quarter about this evil black magic voodoo religion amongst the black people. Be careful, they can touch you, curse your whole family, and they eat your children. They do black magic. And no matter how many times black people step up and say, no we don't kill babies or drink blood, who you gonna believe back then, a white person or a black person? Y'all know the answer to that. Well, we didn't make it any better, because after Mademoiselle Marie Laveau purchases all of us, we came to stay with her at our house for 1 week, and then we mysteriously disappeared. The Catholics went nuts. Don't forget, this whole city is surrounded by water. Lake Pontchartrain, the Gulf of Mexico, the Mississippi River. What was this black woman doing with these disappearing slaves? Where did they go? Would y'all like to know what they wrote down? She's sacrificing their souls in St. Louis Cemetery #1. She's killing their children and rubbing the blood on her face to maintain her youth. She's grinding up their bones to make an evil black magic voodoo powder. Y'all, the rumors are spreading like crazy. People keep talking about this evil voodoo, and it's spreading all across the South. Until Mademoiselle Marie Laveau realized something. People keep saying she's the queen of all the voodoo. She gets all this black magic. What does that actually give her?
Power.
Power. That means she can blackmail whoever the hell she wants. We got 5 documentations of her going down here to the slave auction. You know what she did to the slave owners? Walked up to them and said, "Give me some money."
Ooh.
They gave it to her.
Wow.
Wanna know why? All them rumors they made up about her, they believe them rumors. They think if they piss her off, they piss off the devil. She took that money, went to the courthouse, and she demanded that the city build an orphanage right here. This house wasn't there, and that house wasn't there. When they built the orphanage, they refused to pay her because she was a black woman. So she volunteered for 15 years, taking the homeless kids off the street, white, black, purple, green, yellow, orange, and she fed them babies every morning out of the kindness of her heart. If those children were enslaved, she bought their papers of freedom, gave it to them, and she sent them up north so they can have a better chance of survival. That's who the woman she really was. Do y'all agree with that? I'm setting you up if you agree with that.
Oh no.
I'm setting you up. I really am setting you up. If you agree with that, be careful. Because of the way you vote in this country in 2023. Because that's what the Republicans call socialism. Through time, she died of natural causes in her 80s, which is very uncommon back then. You died in your 40s. You know, today 80s is young. Back then, 80s is considered to be ancient. They thought you was a witch if you lived that long. And they supposedly buried her in St. Louis Cemetery #1. She's not there. What do you mean she's not there? She's not in St. Louis Cemetery #1? Hell no. On her tomb, the New Orleans city put supposedly buried. And they just put it in French, so y'all don't understand it. It's in French. They know y'all don't speak French. Yep. And also I got more proof. Why would a real voodoo queen be buried in a Catholic cemetery? We are not Catholic. Yeah, I got you. We know where she's buried at, but I can't tell you. As a high priest in 2 forms of voodoo, I have taken vows against it, so I'm not allowed to tell you. All right, what happened to these disappearing slaves? Because I know y'all figured out the Underground Railroad was involved some kind of way. You just don't know how. Well, neither did we until 3 years ago when the Smithsonian came down here. And let me tell y'all the truth behind what I did with them. By the way, I dated one of their members for 3 days. I did not enjoy that. That dude... His idea of a date was going to Subway for breakfast, McDonald's for lunch, and Burger King for dinner.
Oh my God.
He smelled like yeast. And I did that for 3 days, so y'all can thank me for getting this information from him.
You made the sacrifice.
I did a sacrifice, I did. And then he had the nerve and the audacity to get a little closer on the last day. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't. That drove me crazy. But this is what we discovered. So it turns out, Christophe Glapion bought 2 houses over here in the neighboring neighborhood known as the Marini neighborhood. And turns out the city was like, oh, that's suspicious. Remember, he's a slave owner. So it's kind of suspicious for him to buy 2 houses outside the city of New Orleans. So they dug up the floorboards of the home. They found 2 deep crawl spaces. At first they thought they were graves. Because, you know, children died a lot back then from yellow fever and typhoid. Until they reached down up in there and pulled out an old piece of fabric, they dated it to the mid-1800s.
Wow.
Turns out not only was Mademoiselle Marie Laveau smuggling the slaves through the Underground Railroad with the help of the Homa Native Americans, we now have documentation showing she was smuggling slaves all the way up to the northern part of Canada.
Wow.
For those of you who didn't go wow like all of them did right here and go holy shit like she said, let me tell you why they went wow and holy shit. This is a black woman living in racist America at the peak of slavery in the 1800s. There's no cars, no planes, no trains. Y'all, there's no bridges. There's no bridges. Bridges. There's 125 plantations that line the bottom of New Orleans to the southern part of Canada, with 8 cities along the way that condone and sold slaves. How one free black woman managed to smuggle, you know, you better stop. There we go. Bye, baby. All right. How one single black woman managed to smuggle 5,000 to 10,000 people from the bottom of the city of New Orleans to the northern part of Canada at the peak of slavery. Here's where y'all should be shocked. And she only got caught 3 years ago in 2020.
Jeez.
Y'all got it now? Okay, look above your heads. Only in the city of New Orleans, Mademoiselle Marie Laveau is the saint of the city. She's the protector of the city's children, of course. They're automatically protected. And also the women are automatically protected. Men, we have to pray. That's why you see all the hair ties, bracelets, and necklaces and stuff left up there as offerings. She used to be a hairdresser, but she's the one you pray to when you're drunk on Bourbon Street.
We'll need her later.
And there you guys have it, Mademoiselle Marie Laveau. Y'all, this story's been in my family for a long time. And had she not smuggled out my great-great-grandparents, I wouldn't be standing in front of y'all right now. That's what we found out.
That's incredible.
I normally end this tour by giving y'all something positive to think about and go home to. But 2023 is the year of change. Tennessee is definitely proof of that. This is what I want you to do. Whether I don't care what kind of politics you have, because remember, I believe in one political party only. Woman. I don't believe in Democrat or Republican. I believe in woman. That's it. So this is what I want you to do. If you want to change the planet, you can start with this. I want every last one of you here on this tour to go home. And I want you to take everything your mama and your daddy ever taught you in your religious beliefs and your cultural beliefs, everything you've ever learned in your life, lay it all out on the table. If you see anything in there that requires you to go to a total, complete stranger and tell them that who they are is wrong and your way is right, and they are wrong until they do it your way, you got two options. You can be the person in your family to end your family's generational curse and understand that it is perfectly okay for you to hate whatever you hate. But when you force other people to hate it too or change who they are, that's not a religion, that's a cult. Or you can do like the dude did the other day, 2 days ago. He told me flat out, Robi, I'm so sorry, but I am a Christian. I believe in the blood of Jesus. I do believe gay people going to hell, and that's just how I feel. I'm so sorry I feel that way, but that's just what I believe. You know what I told him? Thank you. I did. I told him thank you. I'd rather know who my enemy is as soon as I meet him. I'd rather you tell me exactly who you are when you meet me. Because when you tell me, you know what I'm going to say? Thank you. Then I'm going to say, go to hell. Not to insult you. I'm going to tell you, go to hell because you believe in hell and I don't. And that makes it worse. And I'm through. I don't want to talk about it no more. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I'm going to be emailing y'all in a few minutes a list of my recommended places to eat at and stop by. And by the way, you're not too far from one now. But it's time to eat now. Now, turn left right here on Burgundy. This is Burgundy, not Burgundy. And we're in New Orleans, okay? Burgundy. You'll see a place right there called Quarter Grocery. It's a grocery store. Go in the back. That's where they make the food. They got the best po' boy sandwiches in the French Quarter. You pay this much and you get this much. That's where y'all need to go. If you don't like po' boys and stuff like that, they got other things there as well. Also, there's going to be several restaurants in the after email. It ain't going to take me long to send y'all the email. I'm parked right here. It's not going to take long. I'm going to just hop in this little baby of mine. I call her name is Champagne Antoinette.
Champagne
I've had her since 2017. Yeah, she's so good. She treats me so well. She's going to Pensacola tomorrow.
Hey.
So we're going over there to the beach. We're not going to the people.
Yeah.
We're from Florida.
Yeah.
I'm going for the beach.
We got out.
I ain't got time for the people.
Yeah, we got out.
I'm gonna stay behind and answer y'all questions and talk to y'all. For the lady that asked me, I do have PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, Square, and Ticker. Hey, get your. Let's do that right now.
Okay guys, this is where our tour started when we did the Voodoo tour, but we weren't there in time.
Booty.